Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Catherine Patak, an author whose specialist subject is rebellions against the Tudor dynasty. Bhagwan Manku, a dentist, his subject, the chart-topping singer Christina Aguilera. Stuart Holden, a humanist celebrant, whose subject is the US Space Shuttle program. And Jonathan Evans, a doctor. He'll be answering questions on the surgeon and political activist James Parkinson. In every series of Mastermind, as the interrogator, I ask thousands of questions. As a contender, your hope is that I will ask the questions that you know the answers to. So far, so straightforward. But there are tiny flaws in that simple equation. Oh yeah, you may know the answers, but can you give them to me under the toughest of conditions? With the spotlight in your eyes, the clock ticking down, and the famous black chair, the equivalent of quicksand, swallowing you up. 2 minutes on a specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge will tonight decide who goes through to the semi-finals. So, can I ask our first contender to join us, please? Your name?
Catherine Patak.
Your occupation?
Author.
And your specialist subject?
Tudor rebellions.
Yeah, the popular uprisings against the rule of the royal house of Tudor between 1485 and 1603. In 2 minutes, let's go. Which king of Scotland aided the pretender Perkin Warbeck's attempt on the throne of England in 1497?
James IV.
Yes, Lambert Simnel, who claimed to be one of the nephews of Edward IV, invaded England in a bid to overthrow King Henry VII, but was defeated in June 1487 at which battle?
Stoke.
Yes. Kett's Rebellion began as a protest against the enclosure of common land by wealthy landowners and ended with Robert Kett being hanged for treason in December 1549. In which castle?
Norwich.
Yes. What was the name of the Cornish Rebellion ringleader who was executed in 1497, after which his head was placed on London Bridge alongside those of Lord Audley and Michael Joseph?
Sir John Egremont.
No, Thomas Flamank. What adjective forms part of the name of Cardinal Wolsey's planned tax, which was to be raised without Parliament's consent, but was withdrawn after widespread protest in East Anglia in 1525?
The amicable grant.
Yes. Who was Lord Protector of England in the summer of 1549, when rebels in Cornwall and Devon besieged Exeter?
Protector Somerset.
Yes, the Duke of Somerset. What was the name of the Archbishop of Dublin who was murdered in 1534 on the orders of Silken Thomas Fitzgerald during the Kildare Rebellion?
William Connolly.
No, John Allen. The shoemaker Nicholas Melton, a leader of the Lincolnshire Rising of 1536, is remembered by what alliterative nickname?
Captain Cobbler.
Yes, Sir Thomas Wyatt failed to capture London because which city gate was closed to him on the 7th of February, 1554?
Ludgate.
Yes, participants in the Pilgrimage of Grace captured which castle near Wakefield, surrendered to them by Thomas Lord Darcy?
Pontefract.
Yes. What was the name of the military commander who surrendered Barnard Castle to the rebel Earls of Northumberland and Westmoreland in December 1569?
George Bowes.
Yes. About which Irish rebellion did the poet Sir Edmund Spenser write, "In short space there were none almost left, and a most populous and plentiful country suddenly left void of man or beast"?
Tyrone's rebellion.
No, Desmond Rebellion on the night before their revolt against, I've started, so I'll finish. Revolt against Queen Elizabeth I in 1601. Accomplices of the Earl of Essex commissioned and attended a performance of which Shakespeare play?
Richard II.
It was Richard II. And Catherine, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 10 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name?
Bhagwan Manku.
Your occupation?
Dentist.
And your specialist subject?
Christina Aguilera.
The chart-topping American singer, actress, and television personality. In 2 minutes. Here we go. What's the title of Christina Aguilera's first UK #1 single, which topped the charts in October 1999?
Genie in a Bottle.
Yes. Which record label signed Aguilera in 1998 and released her self-titled debut album the following year?
RCA Records.
Yes, in 2000, Aguilera released a Spanish-language album despite not being fluent in the language and having to learn the lyrics phonetically. What's its title?
Mia de Flejo.
Yes, Aguilera was one of the original coaches on the American television series The Voice, finally mentoring a winner in 2016 when she coached which singer to victory?
Alison Porter.
Yes, at the 49th Grammys in 2007. For what song did Aguilera win the award for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance, having previously won the award in 2004 for the song Beautiful?
Ain't No Other Man.
Yes, who co-wrote with Aguilera and produced all the songs on the second disc of the Back to Basics album, including the single Candyman and the title track of Aguilera's greatest hits album, Keeps Getting Better?
Linda Perry.
Yes, Aguilera's cover of the Rolls-Royce song Car Wash features Missy Elliott and was released as a single in 2004 from the soundtrack of what animated film?
Shark Tale.
Yes, which was the only song from Aguilera's 2012 album Lotus to reach the top 40 of the UK singles chart?
Your Body.
Yes, what's the name of the British street artist who designed the cover for Aguilera's 2010 album Bionic?
Deface.
Yes, which theatre, part of the Planet Hollywood Hotel and Casino, was the venue for Aguilera's Las Vegas residency, The Experience, which began in 2019?
Zappos Theatre.
Yes, what's the collective name of the duo with whom Aguilera collaborated on the 2014 UK Top 5 single Say Something?
A Great Big World.
Yes, what's the title of the song performed by Aguilera in the film Burlesque, for which she received a Golden Globe nomination for Best Original Song?
Bound to You.
Yes, which Oscar-nominated costume designer worked on the music video for Aguilera's single Dirty and designed the much-publicised chaps worn by the singer?
Tina Landon.
No, Trish Somerville for her 2008 greatest hits album Keeps Getting Better. Aguilera, started so I'll finish. Aguilera recorded new versions of Genie in a Bottle and Beautiful, as well as 2 original songs that she co-wrote, the title track and which other?
Dynamite.
It was Dynamite. Bagwan. No passes. You've got 13 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name,
Stuart Holden,
your occupation,
humanist celebrant.
and your specialist subject.
The US Space Shuttle program.
The first reusable spacecraft fleet, which was in service from 1981 with missions continuing until 2011. In 2 minutes, let's go. What was the name of the final space shuttle orbiter to be built, which was a replacement for Challenger and flew its first mission in 1992?
Endeavour.
Yes, most shuttle landings took place at either Kennedy Space Center or Edwards Air Force Base, but which site in New Mexico was used just once in 1982?
The Northrop landing at White Sands.
Yes, who's the only astronaut to have flown on all 5 operational shuttle orbiters, as well as holding the record for the oldest person in space until it was surpassed by John Glenn in 1998?
Story Musgrave.
Yes, this shuttle orbiter's electrical power was generated from fuel cells that also produced what substance as a byproduct?
Water.
Yes, in 1983, which crew member on the 8th shuttle mission became the first African-American to fly in space?
Guy Bluford.
Yes, a pair of dedicated ships was used to retrieve the shuttle's 2 solid rocket boosters, which landed in the Atlantic Ocean after every launch. They were the Freedom Star and which other ship?
Liberty Star.
Yes, after Columbia broke apart during re-entry in 2003 at the end of its 28th mission, which retired admiral chaired the Accident Investigation Board?
Bill Nelson.
No, Harold Gaiman. What 4-letter acronym denoted the multifunction full-color display system first used on Atlantis in 2000 and also known as the glass cockpit that replaced earlier monochrome displays?
MFDV.
No, MEDS, MEDS. What's the name of the former military instructor who became the first female shuttle pilot in 1995 and the first female mission commander 4 years later?
Eileen Collins.
Yes, what was the name of Node 1 of the International Space Station, which was launched on Endeavour in 1998 and connected to the Russian Zarya module?
Unity.
Yes, after the Hubble Space Telescope and Compton Gamma Ray Observatory. What was the third of NASA's great observatories to be placed into orbit, as well as being the heaviest payload ever carried by a shuttle?
Chandra.
Yes, 3 missions in 1984 carried an IMAX camera. What was the title of the film produced from the resulting footage?
The Atlantis mission.
No, The Dream is Alive. And Stuart, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 9 points. And our final contender, please. Your name?
Jonathan Evans.
Your occupation?
Doctor.
And your specialist subject?
James Parkinson.
Yes, the British surgeon, political activist and geologist, born in 1755, who first described the condition now known as Parkinson's disease. In 2 minutes, let's go. James Parkinson was born and lived and worked for most of his life in which London square?
1 Hoxton Square.
Yes, Parkinson was elected a Fellow of the Medical Society of London, where he'd previously presented his first scientific paper entitled Some Account of the Effects of what?
Lightning.
Yes, Parkinson suffered badly from what disorder, which he described in a booklet published in 1805.
Gout.
Yes, in 1776, Parkinson trained at the London Hospital under which surgeon?
Richard Grindle.
Yes, in the title of his renowned essay of 1817, what name did Parkinson give to the condition now known as Parkinson's disease, referring to it as a tedious and most distressing malady?
The shaking palsy or paralysis agitans.
Yes, the shaking palsy. Parkinson's interest in paleontology and his impressive collection of fossils prompted which naturalist to name the Jurassic ammonite Parkinsonia Parkinsoni in his honour?
Gideon Mantell.
No, James Sowerby. In which book, subtitled A Tale Addressed to Children, did Parkinson warn against wanton, careless or mischievous exposure to situations from which alarming injuries so often proceed?
Dangerous Sports.
Yes, Parkinson published details of his own design for what surgical appliance, intending to render its use less inconvenient?
Truss.
Yes, what was the name of the plan to kill King George III, about which Parkinson was interrogated by the Prime Minister, William Pitt, during a meeting of the Privy Council?
Popgun Plot.
Yes, which of Parkinson's former mentors presented him with the gold medal of the Royal College of Surgeons, declaring that the fruits of your exertions express the most laudable zeal in the pursuit of knowledge?
William Blizzard.
Yes, under what pseudonym did Parkinson write The Budget of the People in the early 1790s, a radical pamphlet which features sketches satirizing the government he believed to be incompetent and corrupt?
Old Hubert.
Yes, which French neurologist popularized the term La maladie de Parkinson, or Parkinson's disease, more than 50 years after Parkinson wrote about it?
Jean-Marie Charcot.
No, Jean-Martin Charcot. In 1807, Parkinson, described by his peers as almost the only fossilist of his day, founded which organization with a group of mineralogists, including the chemist and inventor Humphrey Davy?
The Geological Society of London.
It was the Geological Society of London. So, Jonathan, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 11 points. And at the end of the specialist subjects round, let's have a look at the scores. In fourth place with 9 points, it's Stuart. In third place with 10 points sits Catherine. In second place with 11 points is Jonathan. And in first place with 13 points is Bagwan. So now the general knowledge round, and if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, it's a tie break. So let's ask Stuart to join us again, please. Stuart, you start with 9 points, plenty of time, 2.5 minutes, in fact, on general knowledge. Starting now, in all 4 home nations of the UK, the early May bank holiday, sometimes known as May Day, is ordinarily observed on which day of the week?
Monday.
Yes, the 1890 poem The Widow at Windsor by Rudyard Kipling is about which British monarch?
Victoria.
Yes, what name is given in the Northern Hemisphere to the full moon that appears nearest to the autumnal equinox?
The harvest moon.
Yes, the real-life fraudster Frank Abagnale Jr. was portrayed by Leonardo DiCaprio in what 2002 film directed by Steven Spielberg?
Catch Me If You Can.
Yes, the cultural institution established in New York City in 1929 and popularly known by the acronym MoMA is the Museum of what?
Modern art.
Yes, which Canadian singer had 2 UK top 5 singles in 2020 entitled Yummy and Stuck With You, the latter being a collaboration with Ariana Grande?
Justin Timberlake.
No, Justin Bieber. Although it used to mean a million, what number is now more usually regarded as the equivalent of 1,000 million?
A billion.
Yes, the adjective leporine means relating to what animal?
A leopard.
No, a hare. Buckfast Abbey, which dates back to the 11th century and is home to a community of Benedictine monks, is in which English national park?
The Lake District.
No, Dartmoor. In the American television comedy series Everybody Loves Raymond, which actor plays the title character Ray Barone?
Bryan Cranston.
No, Ray Romano. Pooh Bah, Coco and Nanky Poo are characters in which Gilbert and Sullivan operetta first staged in 1885?
HMS Pinafore.
No, the Mikado. What's the name of the British wheelchair racer who won a total of 5 gold medals at the London and Rio Paralympics and added 2 more to her tally over 100 metres and 800 metres at Tokyo in 2021?
Tanni Gray-Thompson.
No, Hannah Cockcroft. In the title HSH, used by some members of the royal families of Monaco and Liechtenstein, the letter S stands for what word?
Senior.
No, serene. At the beginning of a standard game of chess, each player has 8 of which pieces on the board?
Pawn.
Yes. What name is given to the brown or black treacle syrup drained from raw cane sugar during the refining process?
Molasses.
Yes, the 4 statesmen who ruled as Roman emperor during the year AD 69, known as the Year of 4 Emperors, were Galba, Otho, Vitellius, and who else?
Nero.
No, it was Vespasian. And Stuart, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 17 points. Next up is Catherine. Catherine, you start with 10 points. The score to beat as it stands is 17 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Starting now, the Garrick, the Lyceum and the Vaudeville in central London are all what type of entertainment venue?
Theatres.
Yes, what best-selling 1974 novel by Peter Benchley begins with the line, "The great fish moves silently through the night water, propelled by short sweeps of its crescent tail"?
Jaws.
Yes, chemical compounds known as alkanes, which include ethane and butane, are made up of atoms of carbon and which other element?
Hydrogen.
Yes, which Australian television soap centres on the residents of a fictional cul-de-sac called Ramsay Street?
Neighbours.
Yes, plantains are often considered to be a variety of what common fruit which they closely resemble?
Banana.
Yes, which singer and actor topped the UK singles chart in the 1970s with songs entitled Don't Give Up On Us and Silver Lady?
Cliff Richard.
No, David Soul. The island of Sulawesi, between the larger islands of Borneo and New Guinea, is part of which country?
Indonesia.
Yes. What was the name of the Belgian astronomer who was one of the first proponents of what's now known as the Big Bang Theory and was nominated for the 1954 Nobel Prize in Physics?
Einstein.
No, Georges Lemaitre. Which American government agency is headquartered in a building named after J. Edgar Hoover, one of its former directors?
The FBI.
Yes, the name of which unarmed martial art practiced by the samurai is commonly translated from Japanese as gentle arts.
Taekwondo.
No, jiu-jitsu. In 1967, a grocer from Cape Town named Louis Washkansky underwent an operation that's widely regarded as the first successful human-to-human transplant of which organ?
The heart.
Yes, what title used by Christians to refer to Jesus Christ is derived from a Hebrew word meaning anointed?
Saviour.
No, Messiah. Olivia Colman and Jessie Buckley were both nominated for Oscars for their roles in what 2021 film, which was the directorial debut of Maggie Gyllenhaal?
The Assistant.
No, The Lost Daughter. The opera La Rondine, or The Swallow, first performed in 1917, was written by which Italian composer?
Birdie.
No, Puccini. What name is given to the unit of imperial measurement of length used in surveying that's equal to 22 yards?
Hectare.
No, chain. The boll weevil is a serious pest that attacks which crop commonly grown in the south of the United States?
Maize.
No, cotton. What word meaning to manipulate someone by causing them to doubt their own sanity takes its modern sense from the title of a 1938 play by Patrick Hamilton in which a man undermines his wife in such a way?
Gaslight.
Yes, it's gaslighting. We'll accept that one. And Catherine, you had no passes. At the end of that round, you've got 19 points.
Thank you.
Next up, it's Jonathan. So, Jonathan, you start with 11 points. The score to beat as it stands is 19 points, and you've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. Which Central European country has the International Vehicle Registration Code CZ?
Czech Republic.
Yes, the 2021 medieval fantasy film starring Dev Patel as King Arthur's nephew, Sir Gawain, facing a challenge by a mysterious adversary, is entitled The Green what?
Knight.
Yes, what expensive aromatic spice and food colouring is obtained from the dried stigmas of the flowering plant Crocus sativus?
Saffron.
Yes, which American newspaper has the website address wsj.com?
Wall Street Journal.
Yes, the 1980s song by The Proclaimers, which topped the UK chart as a charity single in 2007 when it featured characters played by Peter Kay and Matt Lucas, refers in its title to a distance of how many miles?
4,000?
No, 500. Which American golfer won his first major title with victory in the 2022 Masters Championship?
Scotty Scheffler.
Yes, which of the 4 seasons of the year is known in French as le printemps?
Autumn.
No, spring, which King of Scotland was killed in battle in 1057 by his eventual successor, Malcolm III.
David II?
No, Macbeth. The song Where Everybody Knows Your Name, performed by Gary Portnoy, is the theme to what 1980s and 90s American television sitcom?
Cheers.
Yes, members of what Roman Catholic religious order, founded in the 13th century, were sometimes known as Grey Friars because of the indeterminate colour of the habits they wore?
Pass.
What name is given in geometry to a straight line from one side of a circle to the other, passing through its centre?
An arc?
No, diameter. Which Booker Prize-nominated author wrote the children's novels Carrie's War and The Peppermint Pig?
Jacqueline Olivier.
No, Nina Borden. What colour is also the name of the American Ivy League University in Providence, Rhode Island?
Brown.
Yes. What bat and ball team game became an official Olympic sport for the first time in 1992, with Cuba winning the gold medal in 1992, 1996 and 2004?
Baseball?
Yes, in 1908, which future UK Prime Minister was appointed to his first cabinet post as President of the Board of Trade?
Winston Churchill?
Yes, what collective name from the Greek words for salt and borne is given to elements such as fluorine and iodine in Group 17 of the periodic table?
Halogens.
Yes, Lake Van in Turkey is noted for its unusual swimming breed of what domesticated animal?
Cats.
Yes, what 1959 play by William Gibson about the teacher Anne Sullivan's education of her deaf and blind pupil, Helen Keller, was subsequently made into a film for which Anne Bancroft and Patty Duke each won an Oscar?
Educating Rita.
No, it's The Miracle Worker. And Jonathan, you had just a single pass. Members of what Roman Catholic religious order known as Grey Friars? It's the Franciscans. And at the end of that round, Jonathan, you've got 22 points. And finally, let's have Bhagwan again. So, Bhagwan, you start with 13 points. The score to beat to get through to the semi-finals is Jonathan's 22 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Here we go. What's the positive square root of 64?
8.
Yes, the 1997 sequel to the 1981 horror film An American Werewolf in London is entitled An American Werewolf in what other city?
Paris.
Yes, which pair of glands in the human body, one above each kidney, have an outer cortex that produces steroid hormones?
The adrenal glands.
Yes, South Africans of Dutch or Huguenot descent are often referred to as Afrikaners, or by what other name which translates from Dutch as farmers?
Carry on.
No, Boers. The actresses Debbie Reynolds, Elizabeth Taylor and Connie Stevens were 3 of the 5 women who have been married to which American singer who topped the UK singles chart in 1953 with Outside of Heaven?
Tony Bennett.
No, Eddie Fisher. What's the English name of the bivalve mollusk that's the main ingredient in the French dish moule marinière?
Mussels.
Yes, the T.S. Eliot poem, which begins with the lines, "Let us go then, you and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky," is entitled The Love Song of J. Alfred who?
Hoover.
No, Prufrock. Dr. Black is the murder victim in the classic UK version of what board game?
Cluedo.
Yes, a stainless steel sculpture entitled Balloon Dog Orange, which was sold at auction for more than $58 million in 2013, was created by which American artist?
Damien Hirst.
No, Jeff Koons. Which football club won their 10th title in 11 seasons when they won the Scottish Premiership in May 2022?
Celtic.
Yes, Celtic. After a general election in 2019, Mette Frederiksen became the Prime Minister of which North European country?
Sweden.
No, Denmark. Between 2008 and 2014, Viva la Vida, Milo Xyloto and Ghost Stories were UK #1 albums for which British group?
Coldplay.
Yes, in the term CT scan or CAT scan for a form of X-ray examination, the letter T stands for what word?
Tomography.
Yes. What three-letter word for a type of bread roll is also a term for a hairstyle in which a length of hair is coiled into a ball shape and pinned tightly, usually at the top or back of the head?
Cob.
No, bun. The Russian revolutionary leader born Lev Davidovich Bronstein in 1879 is better known by what name?
Vladivostok.
No, Leon Trotsky. What two-word collective name was given to the young superheroes Robin, Kid Flash, Wonder Girl, Speedy, and Aqualad when they first appeared together in DC Comics in the 1960s?
Sidekicks.
No, Teen Titans in Greek mythology, the labyrinth. I've started this all finish. The labyrinth built by Daedalus to contain the Minotaur was on which island?
Rhodes.
No, it was Crete.
Great.
And Bhagwan, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 21 points.
Thank you.
It's another tight one. Let's have a look at the final scores. In fourth place with 17 points, it's Stuart. In third place with 19 points, it's Catherine. In second place with 21 points is Bhagwan. And in first place with 22 points, it's Jonathan, which means he goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to him. If you would like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
When I sat down in that chair, I thought, this is it. The spotlight really is on me. I better not make any errors.
Your occupation
Doctor.
and your specialist subject.
James Parkinson. As a neurologist, I see a lot of Parkinson's disease, and it was very interesting for me to learn more about such an important figure in neurological history.
Bhagwan, no passes. You've got 13 points.
I knew Bhagwan had got a very good score in the first round. Fortunately, it all worked out for me in the end, but Bhagwan played a very good game. He was very unlucky to miss out by a single point.
And in first place with 22 points, it's Jonathan. Congratulations to him.
I applied for Mastermind really to test myself and to test both my general knowledge and my ability at my time of life to pick up some new information and new knowledge. Baseball?
Yes.
Winston Churchill?
Yes.
Halogens?
Yes.
I guess ultimately one thinks about the glass bowl and what it would mean to hold that. I think it would be great. I think it would be fantastic, but it's a long way away, so a long way to go and a lot of questions to answer till that point.